And alright, so there we have it. Wasn't really our next step. I just was dying to cut the cedar, and now the workshop smells glorious. Anyway, we have to bring down the strips of Wenge on the table saw quick. Whatever, wait on that. So, unfortunately, it's time to router the neck. Time to taper it. Routers are loud. Routers are scary. Routers go. So, first, before we fuck anything up with the router, in the headstock area, we're going to bring it almost flush, pretty much flush with the sander, just to avoid tear out in the transition near the end of the routing. We don't want to fuck up. Tastes like shit. Alright, we'll do the same with the other side now. Just flush it up. No sense of fucking up with the router, and we have one of these. Alright, so I'm terrified to do the neck routing tapering. So before I do that, we are gonna mark out our bridge, and we are gonna mark out our pickup, and we're gonna route our pickup in. Cause I just bought a new toy. It's a neato fixed-based router. It's got the big chuck and the 1/4-inch chuck. It comes with a like an adapter that goes in, which is great. Has an LED light, fucking pretty sweet. And best part of all time, routing as loud, as loud, as loud. Done. So it's like that. Look at that. Not bad. And it's also has a soft start. Listen, watch. Alright, little fixed-based router review for you too before we get to going on this. I like it. Alright, so we're going to want to mark from the back of where our nut's going to be, which we have marked on our fretboard template. So from the back of the nut, we're going to set up the 0. 25¼ inches. Now that's to the screw hole of the bridge. The bridge actually sits forward a little further past the screw hole. We're just going to call it a 1/4 inch to be safe, so we're going to mark 25 inches from the back of the nut, or the furthest nut, point of the nut to the tuning keys. I guess the rule is, or whatever, the first point of contact on the first point of contact of the strings on the nut, and then the first point of contact at the bridge, I believe that's the scale length. I think. I'm learning. So anyway, 25. So we want to stay the fuck away from there with our pickup. That's all we gotta know. We're not doing our bridge right now. I suppose we could, but I like to wait till the fretboard is glued on, it's in its final position, the nut's in its final position, then I can measure back from there to do the bridge. But we definitely want to route our pickup and mark out our fucking electronics and shit. We need to know where that goes before the body gets glued together. And I suppose it's easier to line up while the neck's still square for the bridge, for where our pickups are going to be. Actually, you know what? No, I lied. We're just going to mark, so take our straight edge, we're going to take a line. We're just going to roughly draw along, way past the bridge, and way past where the pickup's going to be. Give you guys a closer look here. So, there's our post hole. Yeah, I guess they call it a post hole. That's our mounting screw. And then that's probably the front of the bridge. So now we're going to mark out our pickup past here. And in between these lines we just brought up, we're going to want to center it. Then we know we'll be perfect when the strings come down the fretboard. Alrighty, I'm going to mark that out and then route this. Another chunk of the elephant bitten off. Well, let's write it in. My ginger was born without a soul, so therefore I compensate using EMG pickups. It's a little something you learn here on this channel. Alright, so I'm still in too good of a mood right now to do the neck routing, so I'm going to lay out the rest of the hardware and drill the holes or whatever where they're going to come in, and then we're using the Stratocaster input jack where it comes out of the face of the guitar. So we could route that hole for that in order to transfer it to the body wings. So then we could drill through that and we know where our electronic compartment's going to be. Alright, so get to work on layout. One volume, one tone. Keeping it real easy. This isn't the bridge we're using, but we're just setting it up. It's going to be very similar, just without the whammy portion. We are using hardtail bridge, but we'll set that up roughly where it's going to be. I ordered a new black one of these, but they're universal. And it's all preference, really. So when you're laying it out, just kind of imagine yourself playing it, you know, and where you would want this stuff and where it looks on the guitar. Also, how big of a cavity you're going to have to route in the back, or how big of a hole you're going to have to make in the back. You don't want that too big. You don't want it anywhere near your cavity, anywhere near your bridge, really, so when you put your screws in, you have no meat and you're under your wires. So just a couple things to take into account. But yeah, really it's all preference, what you would like, what kind of looks good. Really performance based. To be honest, I keep these at 10, so I'm going to kind of keep them out of the way more. And obviously out of the way of the jack. So I'm liking that. It's looking good. Oh yeah, and then you don't want your knobs too close together, because mind you can't have the terminals on the pots touching. You don't want those pots too close. You want at least an inch of space in between them, just for ease of wiring and chance of short circuit. You don't want to let the smoke out. Number one rule. Flat thumb pencil. Like that. Forster bit. If you can't hit center with one of these bits, just don't build a guitar. Or anything. Or just like practice and don't show people the things you build. Wine pot. Well, too late now, that's where they're going.